Hello and welcome back to the Wizards Arena, my fellow Planeswalkers. Today we're continuing our review of the Legends set that's coming out. Right now we're going to be looking at Gold Legendary Creatures. These are the non-partner ones, so we don't have to think about that mess yet. And first up, we have Ratos. We have 2, a black and a red, for a 4/3 fly-in imp. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, that player gains control of target permanent you control. Then each player loses life and discards cards equal number of permanents they control but don't own. Now, the one thing I'll say about this guy is he's interested in the fact that this really hasn't been done too much before in Commander. The one minus I'll give him, well, besides having 4/3 as a stat line, where it should probably have been a 4/4, is people don't like to make opponents discard in Commander. It's just not what is really looked for. So with red, it's land destruction, and like burn really doesn't work too good. In black, it's don't do discard. So they've made a card that really does not play well to Commander. That being said, it is a 4/3 with a new interesting mechanic, and it's not the hardest garbage I've ever seen on a Commander. It's not like Lady on the Mountain or anything, but so this one gets a 6. It's okay. It's interesting. I just think if you play this, you're not going to be well received by the table. Next up, we have Hans Eriksen. So Hans is a storyline character. You know, if you know the story of Safi and stuff like that, you'll know what he is. He is a 1/4 for 2, a red and a green human scout. Whenever he attacks, reveal the top card of the library. If it's a creature card, put on the battlefield, tap and attack in defending player or planeswalker they control. Otherwise, put it in my hand. Whenever you put a creature card onto the battlefield this way, it fights Hans. So you need like mid-rangey creatures that Hans can't kill. But then again, you need mid-range creatures that Hans can't kill back. So you need a way to give them both indestructible or something, or have vigor out so you prevent the damage and you put +1/+1 counters on them. It's probably the safer play. But this is just very like weird way to get an army. It's very reddish, chaotic, and there's Safi in the background. But he is just flavor, very strong with flavor, but he only gets a 3. He's not that great. Like, he's not the worst commander in terms of hoops having to be jumped through to make him good, but I just rather spend my time on a good green commander that's just better overall. Speaking of hopping through hoops, this is Carowind, the Meddler. Blue-white for a 1/3. Well, that's a really good, solid baseline. He's a rabbit wizard. Not to be confused with a rabid wizard. You can tap him. Every player may draw a card, and anyone who drew this way gains a life. So, this is part of the whole turtle and the hare storyline. Ha ha, ho ho. I would have liked something a little bit different than this. Like, I would have liked something like, oh, okay, before main phase, he can attack before the first main phase. So it goes like upkeep, draw, bonus combat phase, main phase, regular combat phase. Something like that where, oh, see, the hare gets to attack here. He's first, blah, blah, blah. And he can't be blocked because he's so fast. But, you know, like, he's very flavorful. He's doing something normally that white blue doesn't do, which is not be on a flyer or is not annoying as shit. Like, that's one thing white blue had to get away from, is like being these annoying commanders nobody wants to deal with. $1 million man, the advisors that make everything cost more. He's better than I feel than Darkos was when he was white blue in the original Theros. Right, Dante? Dante's giving us his approval, or lack thereof. So he's okay, you know. He's got a solid stat line, and that's about it. I personally don't like making my opponents draw, so that's why he gets a 4. 4. And we move on to our next fun commander. The green-white unicorn. For 2, a green and a white for a 2/2, lifelink for 4. Beginning of each end step, if you gain life this turn, distribute up to that many +1/+1 counters among any number of other target creatures. This is interesting because you could use it in the with the instead of the whole go wide green white token idea, you can do the whole go up. Just build the board up. It's okay. Stat line's kind of unimpressive for 4 mana. I would have liked it better if it was 3 mana. Hey, don't you dare, Dante. Hold on, child. What do you think you're doing, sir? Here's Mr. Water Bottle. Get down. You can't jump on top of the desk. You know better. Yeah, Agent Dante knows better. So this is a pretty solid commander. I'm going to give this a 5. You know, I feel they could have done a little bit better, either on mana cost or stats, like a 2/4 or something like that. But it's fine. Moving on to our next legend. The blue-black flying fairy knight. So this is 3, a blue and a black, flash, flying. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of those cards in your hand and the other in the graveyard. So it rewards you for playing lots and lots of cantrips. That's cool, you know. Or they don't even have to be cantrips, they can just be creatures with flash. This is sort of like what the cycling should have said. Is every turn, like the first time you cycle, you know, make a token instead of just on your turn. That's why the cycle girl is bad. She's interesting. She's a little on the high side for mana for being a 1/6. Like, I'd be more excited if she was a 3/6. But if you don't want her to be this powerful, you just want her to be small, then have her come down a bunch in mana cost. I feel like, again, 4 mana would have been fine. It would still been high, but heck, I mean, if you want to make it a 1/5 and just make it a blue and a black, because you're not going to block and kill anything with the flash. Even 1/4 would have been fine. You know, it's just so much mana. Take advantage of the flash. So she clocks in at also a 5. She's just okay. Not the best blue-black legend in this set. Moving on. Belby, Corrupt Observer. Black, a green for a 2/2. See, we got 2 mana for a 2/2. This guy's got 5 mana 2 keywords, and it's a 1/6. It's like, okay. At the beginning of each player's post-combat main phase, that player adds 2 colorless mana for each of your opponents who lost life this turn. So, if you're playing 4 players, it's a case of, okay, they smacked one of your opponents. That's not them, and it's not you. So that means that they get 2 mana. Now, if they want to hurt themselves, they get 4 mana, if I'm reading this right. I need the Oracle text to double check my words, but that seems to be the way it is. Pretty cool girl. Black green, so you have another zombie elf option that's not around discard. So this is a 5. Pretty solid. Moving on to our next legend. Okay, guys, this is just like a mouthful when you go around saying its name. Bella. It's a spirit soldier, 2 a red and a white for an X5. Note the CMC of each card as it's put into exile. His power is equal to the greatest CMC exiled this turn, or noted this turn. Beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. So there's other cards you can play in red, obviously, to exile cards. So potentially you could have like a 2/5, a 3/5, something along that line easily. Again, this is a Boros combat guy. I'm getting sick of them. They gotta find something else for red-white to do besides combat. I don't know what to tell them to do. But something. This guy, he's just due to the randomness, he gets a 4. He's just not as good as these other ones. He's not terrible, but there's been so many bad red-white legends. Speaking of legends, Gormordruk the Amphibious Ologist, or Crocodile Hunter, or Steve Irwin, as they're calling him. He's a green, a blue, and a colorless for a 3/2. Well, already your mana cost equal to stats, and then you do stuff. It's like, yes, this ain't the greatest thing, but why did some of these legends we have to pay like double the mana? I don't get it. You and your permanents have control. You and permanents you control have protection from salamanders. Okay? Beginning of your end step, each player who controls the fewest creature creates a 4/3 blue salamander warrior creature token. Okay, so he gives people salamanders. And you get pro salamander. Why? This is just really bad. But the reason he's really bad is blue-green has just been getting the most ridiculous stuff for like the last couple sets. So they're like, we can't keep doing it. They gotta calm down. So you're a 2. You're just pretty bad, Steve Irwin. Moving on to our next legend. White-black. Layasal, Shroud of Dusk. 5 mana for 5/5 flying lifelink. Okay, so we spent 5 mana for a flying flash. That was a 1/6. And this girl's a 5/5 for 5? Like, okay. This is Bruna Gisella's, I forget the other one, sister. Charlie, the third, the green white one. This is the 4th one. Avison killed it before we got there. The first time in Innistrad. She says, rather than paying 2 for each previous time you've cast from the command zone, pay 2 life. That many times. Whenever a player casts a spell, they lose 2 life. So she's just about you being able to pay life and them paying life and you gaining life. So she seems really good. Not as good as her sisters, the original versions. I think Gisella's going to be the best, but then again, Gisella's more of a finisher. So is Bruna. The other one is what she's comparable to. And that's fine, you know. I have no problem with that. She clocks in at a nice solid 6. She brings some interesting ideas to the table. And an alternate way to get out your commander. Being always 5 mana and not overly broken like the bird we had before. That's always pay 4. Like, no thanks. Okay, Zara, Renegade Recruiter. This girl I'm looking forward to. She's going in pirate deck I have. She's just really, really different. Like, you're sick of blue-red just doing artifacts and stuff. Well, here you go. 3 a blue and a red for a 4/3 flyer. Whenever she attacks, look at defending player's hand. You may put a creature card from it onto the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking that player or planeswalker that you control. Return it to the owner's hand at the next end step. So basically, she attacks flying. And then she has red ability as her blue abilities. Look at your hand, red ability. I sneak attack in something from your hand to smash you with it. This is a totally different commander. I really like it. It is really strong. And obviously you tend to go after the person with the lowest mana, in a way, that either tapped out, has been so deployed with their troops, so like, oh, I'll just zoom in here and smash, grab, slap them hard, and go on to the next person. She gets an 8. I think she's the best rare versions of 2-colored commanders. Okay. Next, we have the Esper commander, Amaroth the Lustrous, 6/6 flyer. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, look at our top card of library. If it shares a card type with that permanent, you may reveal that card and put it into your hand. Well, this is just a disgrace. So, I don't even get to put it into play? Like, there's a lot of green effects for, like, 3 or 4 Descendants Path into the wilds, where if I reveal blah, it goes into play. This is 6 mana. I don't even get the thing I see. Like, are you kidding me right now? It's just bad. Just don't play this. Find something else to play. Play like Rune or something. I don't know. Moving on. Jared, the true heir. This is a different take on the Monarch. When he enters the battlefield for red, green, white, he's a 3/3, and he gives the monarchy to somebody. The first turn he's out, you can't become the monarch. If damage would be dealt to Jared while you're the monarch, prevent that damage and put that many +1/+1 counters on him. So he can get really big super quick just by blocking lots of stuff, protecting the monarchy. That's cool. Interesting storyline. Would I play him? I play him more than I'd play the other guy that we just saw. So, but he's interesting. So he gets a 6. He's not going to be bonkers or anything like that. He's just cool. Our next legend is Neverends Herbert Tyrant. 3 a white, a blue, and a black. Hexproof from artifact, creatures, and enchantments. So basically everything the old disc used to blow up. Just having pro creatures is pretty sick as it is. When he enters the battlefield, create a tap 2/2 black zombie creature token for each creature that died this turn. When he dies, you may pay 1. When you do, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. You can do a couple things with him. You can just make a sack outlet deck and slap him in it, and just like sack a bunch of stuff to Ashnard's altar, or Phyrexian altar, recast him, make lots of tokens, blink him for his effect on whenever stuff dies. You know, there's just way more stuff going on here than we've had with any of our 3-color commanders yet. As a result, he gets a 6. More going on here than other stuff. Arboric Brute Chroniclist. Colors: a blue, a black, a red. 3/4 Grixis wizards, because that's all wizards are. All Grixis gets is wizards. Tap. The player whose turn it is may end their turn. So, they don't have to. They can take a pass. They don't want it. This is kind of cool in the sense that you can do this and run a lot of stuff in your deck that says, well, at the end of turn, do blah or do blah. Like, take an extra turn, but at the end of this turn, you lose the game. Or draw 4 cards, but, have this penalty. And this, I just tapped this in response, and we don't have this end step. So she's really interesting and weird. I like her. She's different. Got a lot of possibility with her. She gets a 7. Mr. Mana Burn is here. Jund 4/4 Vigilance. So for 4 mana, you get a 4/4. A player loses unspent mana, causes that player to lose that much life. 1, tap. Each player adds 3. The reason this is crazy is, like, if you can find a way to, like, untap it, you can get it really offhand. But if I use them on my turn for 3 mana, and I cast stuff with it, well, you got 3 mana, you got stuff to do? Well, if you don't got stuff to do, you're taking 3 damage, he bolts you all. Which I think is kind of hysterical. Doesn't look super strong, but we'll give him a 6. Seems pretty cool. Our next commander is the other half of the hare and the turtle joke. Turtle Power. He's a colorless blue, black, green. 2/4. Okay, whenever a tap permanent enters the battlefield, it's untapped. Whenever an untapped permanent enters the battlefield, it is untapped. It is tapped. Huh? Basically, if the turtle isn't tapped, everything enters the battlefield untapped. If he's tapped, everything comes into play tapped. If I'm slow, you're slow. If I'm ready, everything's ready to go. I like this guy a lot. There's a lot of silliness going on here. He's an 8. Our next card is Arenia the Chaos Bloom. I'm making this girl. Teamer. Green, blue, red, 4/2. As you cascade, you may put a land card from among the exiled cards on the battlefield tapped. Okay, Maelstrom Wanderer, go. Sign me up. Probably better if the Maelstrom Wanderer is the leader, and she's in the 99, but she's really good too. So whichever way you decide to build it, I'm going to try being her. She's a 6 out of 10. Like her pretty much a lot. Our next one is Californar the Last U. 3 white, black, green. So this is the Abzan one. Vigilance Reach 3/7. Big crazy tree butt. Whenever the Last U or another creature you control dies, return up to 1 other target creature card with lesser toughness from your yard to your hand. Yeah, like, okay, yeah, that's alright. You know, it's not amazing. It's pretty good. I would give it, like, if it put it to play, I'd be more down with it, but it's just a 6. Like, you know, it's here doing its job, and that's about it. Our next commander is again the Arkham Weaver. He's interested in the sense that this is a Mardu enchantment guy. Red, white, black, 2/3 wizard. Red, white, black, sack on enchantment, return enchantment from graveyard to play. If he's had to play, he'd be a lot higher. So that's really cool. I give this guy, because he's putting stuff to play, it's something we haven't seen really before. He gets an 8. He's really cool. I mean, yeah, his ability costs a lot, so maybe it should be a 7. But he is. We haven't seen anything like this before, which I really like. Seeing stuff like that. Looking forward to seeing him play in our group. Somebody's already claimed dibs, so it's going to be interesting to see. Our next legend is Gonstraw, Voice of the Crags. A colorless, a blue, a red, and a white for a 3/3. We got a Jeskai thing here. Tap, choose one. X is the number of the spells you've cast a turn. Choose Scry X. Deal X damage to target creature or gain X life. So this is a spell slinging storm deck. I'm not hyper excited for this. Nobody I know is. Like, everybody's like very not impressed. This guy gets a 2. We're not excited in the slightest. Next, we have more stuff. These are the uncommon ones. This one puts the 5-cost blue-black guy to shame. He's a colorless, a blue and a black. Exile cards from your graveyard equal to the CMC of target creature card. That creature gains Encore. You put it into play, token attacking everybody that's in play. So you can get multiple triggers and all kinds of fun stuff. This guy I like a lot. Everybody here does too. This gets a 7. Interesting new idea. It's like we made Encore for this guy. I guess we got to put on a few guys. Green, white, elephant. That gets cheaper with each +1/+1 counter you have. So he's 4 green and white for 5/5. This spell costs 1 less for each creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. Creature spells you cast costs 1 less to cast for each creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. So he can be 2 mana for 5/5. You know, he can make lots of things real cheap. He is sweet. It's kind of neat to have a green-white +1/+1 counter leader. This guy's only a 6. He's really cool. It's a new commander. Jury, Master of the Revu, black, red, 1/1 Ratos. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on him. When he dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. And the Ratos guy is here, and he's just a 5. No excitement. It's like Dread Horde. You know, it's just a very basic Ratos function. I don't care. Sky Warden. 3, a white and a blue, flying vigilant, 3/3. When he attacks, attacking creatures get +2/+0 until end of turn. When he blocks, they get +0/+2. This is just your flyers. So he is Super Birdman. Sure. Like, he's very interesting. It's a very standard ability. I'm going to have my blue-white commander deck become this. But yeah, it's just blue-white either flies or it makes people pay taxes. It's a new flyer. Next up, we have Tuia Bearclaw. Colors, a red and a green 2/2. Whenever she attacks, she gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among other creatures you control. So she can get big. She doesn't have trample, first strike, regeneration, vigilance, rampage, anything. She doesn't, no keywords at all, nothing. She is just, I am so underwhelmed by her. It's like, wow, really? She gets a 2. She's not total 1 dumpster fire, but she tries to be. Tries her hardest. Next up, we have the black-green elf horror. Vigilance, menace. Colors are black and a green for an XX. Power and toughness equal number of elves in play and in your graveyard. An interesting little thing. I'd give it a 6. Slightly different for most black-green elf commanders we have, and it doesn't do discard, so okay. Captain Vargas Wrath. Blue, a red, Orc Pirate, 1/1. Whenever he attacks, pirates you control get +1/+1 to end of turn for each time you've attacked this caster commander of this game. So, you know, potentially +1 or +2 to keep off your team. And also the cool thing is he buffs himself. So in the Grixis party deck, you have the Grixis guy out, he buffs him 1, then he buffs himself 1. So you can get your little squad up in size. He's not the most exciting, but he's better in the 99. So as a commander, I'd give him 3. But in the Pirates deck, I think he's a 5. You know, something they welcome. The Multi Celebrant of the Bounty. 3, a green and a blue for 3/1 Cascade. Spells you cast with converted mana cost 6 or greater, half Cascade. Well, this is going in my Cascade deck with probably Maelstrom Wanderer as a commander. We're in the deck too. Just lots and lots of Cascade stuff. I don't see her being as a Cascade leader. You probably want a Timir one. So again, as a commander, she's probably like a 3. But in the deck itself, she's a 6. She's just really strong and get you a lot of value. Ray Master Smith. Red, a white, 2/2. Whenever a creature you control attacks, enchanted or equipped attacks, that creature gains double strike until end of turn. So if you have an aura or an equipment on a creature, that creature gains double strike. Not very exciting. I'll give it a 4. Like, I'm not thrilled. It's just alright. And finally, we have Tessal. Reverent medium. 3, a black and a white. 5 mana for 3/4 human cleric. At the beginning of each end step, create X 1/1 white spirit tokens with flying, or X number of tokens you created this turn. So basically, she says double the number of tokens you've made. And this can just get really out of hand with all the token doubler and effects that there are. Because there's like, there's the card from Innistrad that says, you know, put 2 spirit tokens into play and then flash it back for 2 more. So you cast that, and you just get 8 spirits, and it's just crazy. Spectral Procession, all these cards. And that's ignoring fact of cards of like the spirit angel that says whenever a creature's die makes a spirit token. So there's just so many synergies you can have with her. She's really strong. I like her a lot. I feel like she's a 7. And that is our last commander. That is of the gold color that doesn't have partner. The next video we do will have the partners in it. I look forward to seeing you there. My name is Draymore with the Wizards Arena. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment below. And I'll see you guys in that video. Have a great day.